Welcome back. I think today, I had put in our notes here to do this vulture flap like mad, but I was reviewing it and looking at the footage, and I think I'm happy with where it's sitting at now. So we'll change it if we decide to later, but I think we're good for now. So today I think I'm gonna make an egg class, right? Because we gotta turn our ostriches into eggs. We gotta turn our vultures into eggs. We just explode, but I'm gonna give ourselves a new file here, and we're gonna call it egg. Egg.lua. Egg.lua already exists. Okay, so it's in here. Wait. I really did already have an egg? Okay. Okay, I guess I already put an egg class in there, so I guess we don't need this. Wow, okay. Does that mean last commit we even had that? I swear I don't remember doing that. I'm just curious, checking the You guys, we've hit 101 commits, which is kind of great. Source. Yeah, we really did. What? We've had our egg class for 27 days? Tricked me. Okay. Well. The egg render bit is going to be the toughest, but shouldn't be too bad otherwise. I'm curious if we made an egg spread already then. That'd be cool if Passpal's doing us favors. Dude. Passpal already made the egg atlas. Now I wonder if we had the extra frame. Actually, it looks like we did have the extra frame buffer there. It looks like it starts... How nice of us to have done this already. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, width of 7. No, height of... Hold on a sec. Yeah, it's hard for me to see which... 7 by 8. 8 by 8. Eight by 8. Okay, I think it's really just 8 by 8. So that means... See, this doesn't look right to me. At least the bottom left corner should kind of stay the same, right? So if this... Oops. If this marquee... 8 by 8. Okay. to me, okay, I think it's okay. We are gonna give it the pixel buffer like we do on all our other ones to make sure we don't run into the weird cycling problem. So we'll add just a pixel on each side. So if there's 4 frames, they're 8 by 8. That's 32 canvas plus 4. So if we go to our canvas size, we've got 32 plus 4, right? 8, 16, yeah, 32 plus 4 gives us the 36. And then we'll move okay, so that's 1 pixel away. We've got a pixel buffer here. So let's look at our 8 by 8. Why does it? Oh, okay. So this is our first 8 by 8. See, no, this is wrong. I think this is our first 8 by 8. Because we have the pixel, then we have the 8 by 8. Then we need a pixel more for these. And then, God, it looks like we're already, what the fuck? That's 8 by 8. So what am I missing here? 8 times 4 is 32. 32 plus 4 would be 36. So how come our 8 by 8, which actually starts second frame, is here? Then there's a pixel buffer. Then our next 8 by 8 is here. Then there's a pixel buffer. Then our next 8 by 8. And then there's a pixel buffer. And then our last 8 by 8. Now, don't we need... Oh, no, we don't need a buffer because the buffer's at the beginning. So, just like how we did... Yeah, see how it ends? It ends right there, but we give us a pixel buffer on the left. Same with this. It ends on the end, but we give us a pixel buffer. So that should be okay. So if we save that, we'll need to did we import this? Main. We did. We've given us an egg atlas already. So our egg lua gets I think I could do that. Egg atlas, which is a drawable, we're moving that into a self.atlas, just like how our vulture atlas is our self.atlas for our vulture. So I don't think that's right. But our width and height need to be 8. So actually, we don't need that passed in. We know they're hard-coded, so we can just say move 8 into the height, move 8 into the width, and our parameters are just a x and a y position. We'll probably also need a dy that gets assigned somehow. Or a dx. We'll need a dx. We'll need a dx, I think, that gets assigned. We'll need to pass in a dx so that we can continue our vulture's movement. So like if we kill a vulture and it's flying to the left or whatever, we kill it, the egg should still fly to the left, right? So we need to pass in the current velocity, xward velocity of our vulture upon instantiation of our egg. And then we can do the egg logic here for the egg needs to bounce and get current dt. Needs to bounce and fly with dx until it stops. So, okay. How about for now, we just get an egg on screen exactly where the ostrich fell. How about that? So we need to say love.graphics. No, we need to set a quad. We need to set a quad for the, no, we can just set the viewport. We can just set the viewport. Is that right? Self-filter. Sprite set viewport. So instead of running set viewport on love.graphics, we actually need to run it on our self.atlas. And then self.viewport only takes in an x, a y, a width, and a height. So we just need to give it x, y, self.x, a self.y, and then a width and a height. Okay, so that should set the viewport, but we still need to draw it. Which we say draw the self.egg, self.atlas, and you're going to draw it at the current x and y. Now, upon our vultures getting exploded, yeah, okay, so if not self-exploded, we need this on finally. We can say else. We're going to instantiate so we know we need to run the code egg class, right? We need to run an egg class given the vultures x, the vultures y, and then hard-coded 88. No, we give it a dx. So we won't be updating this, so the dx won't do anything at the moment, but when we flesh out the update in our egg class, it should work. So we're saying if we're exploded, we need to do something like if egg if self.egg give us an egg instantiation as a self dot No. If, see, we need to say that a member called egg to our vulture is actually getting the instantiation object, but we need to trigger this by saying like, hey, if egg exists, then set, give us one object, right? And then we need to flush our exists to be false. So we need a couple things now. We need this member. We need this egg exists field in our booleans. And then we need to say what? We're rendering egg at the takes it in atlas. Draw atlas quad. I don't think we need the quad if we set the viewport. Is that right? Here our vulture sprite gets the quad. So maybe I don't exactly know. I don't know if I need to put a quad here or if just calling the set viewport is good enough to pass in the atlas, because we're doing the viewport on the atlas. So maybe that'll work. So right now we need to see if we're exploded, then we need to set this egg exists to true upon our exploded getting set to true. So I guess the weird thing is we only explode if self.egg exists, then give us an egg instantiation as our self.egg. Okay, so I wonder if I can just set this to 0 for now, and then it won't yell at us, but I've got no clue. We gotta see where our ostrich exploded gets true. Look, vulture exploded, my bad. So if vulture exploded, then we need to say vulture dot egg exists gets true now, at which point our egg exists in our vulture will be updated. So this is why we had to move it to the graveyard instead of table.removing it, because we still need the vulture to technically exist so that we can have this egg instantiation exist upon vulture exploding. Then if there is an egg exists, then now all of a sudden we assign an egg object with our current vultures x, y, and dx, and we put it into our self.egg, and then we set egg exists to false. So upon this line, we should have a self.egg. But that doesn't really, we don't really need to do anything with that here. We need to render it from our play state. We do need to update it as well, but we need to render the egg. So it's almost like we need to do, It's almost like we need to do God dang, this is tricky. It's like we need to do a loop that goes through every vulture. Yeah, we need to go through every vulture, and if the vulture.egg exists, no, because that gets flushed. We just need to say, fuck, what do we do? We need to say render an egg if exploded is true. So if vulture.exploded, that means there's an egg to render. And if vulture.exploded, then we need to, how would we render? We would need to do self.egg render. But not self.egg, we need to vulture.egg :render. Maybe. I try to put ends as soon as I make an if statement. I just forgot there. So let's see if we can kill this guy and turn him into an egg that stays still. Here. Okay. Attempt to index field egg a number value. So play state 146. It's saying egg is a number value, which it does start off as a number value, but we assign it an egg value. So maybe we just instantiate this as an egg item, but off screen. It's like, since it's not rendering it, it doesn't really matter, but I don't really know how to not worry about it until it exists. I kind of just have to treat it like it exists at the moment. So I'm going to kill this guy and see what happens. Set viewport on egg. Did not like that. So I think we do need the sprite. So look, if you look here, we have a vulture atlas as our self.atlas, but then we say vulture sprite is a quad. So we run new quad. So we need to say our egg sprite is actually a quad at those things. Okay, and then we need to say we set the viewport. So yeah, setting a viewport in the draw function is not what we want to do. We would do it here, I guess. So we need to say that our egg sprite gets a viewport. Let's try that. Okay, it did not work. Let me see, there's so many things that could be going wrong. I think for now, I'm gonna say, instead of doing this, I should be able to call render on a member that's a class, right? Egg gets assigned an egg, yeah. when are we saying we're in stage 2? So we're not really saying that our egg gets values. When are we saying it gets values upon being exploded? Right here. If the egg exists, give us these values. Into our egg. Okay. Into our vulture class, which, see, and this was the whole thing. We might move this out of vulture class. No, it needs to be, because every vulture needs to be its own egg, potentially. So what I'm going to do is, instead of doing this, I'm going to hard code a, we're just going to vulture, no, we're going to, in our vultures table at our index 1, we're going to say our field of our vultures table at index 1 dot egg you render. Vultures dot egg render, but let me just put this actually at positive. How do I do this? I'm trying to just draw an egg in the top left corner at the moment, which is not working. Doing it in our play state? No. Yeah. Egg render. So let's try rendering egg very last, because it needs to be on top of everything. Vultures 1. Egg render, and then I'll just make sure I turn on vulture 1 so I can read it. Yeah. Just trying to draw an egg in the corner. Okay, so that almost worked. You know, we've got egg, which is a good start. Now, egg is actually being put at the X of when our vulture gets spawned, which we should only... hold on a sec. Yeah, why is the viewport not set? Probably because we... I guess I'm confused at why we need quads. But why are we drawing every frame? I thought that the viewport... It says... Yeah, so what's the difference between the quad, using the quad and the viewport here? Because we're saying a quad gets us a width and a height at an index. But then we set our viewport. And I'm also confused why our vulture starting quad is actually at 0, 0, but I guess we changed the viewport. So like part of me wants to say, like, what if we make this 4? Does that change anything? Yeah, as far as our vultures go. See? So the viewport's overriding the quad there in some sense, I'm pretty sure. So do we even need the quad? I don't know. But basically we want the width of our viewport to only be 8, not a whole atlas sprite. which is annoying that it's doing that. You know what? We're not updating our egg, so that's probably why. So let's update our egg real quick in our play state. Here's our render. We need to just update egg real quick. I'm just gonna say our vultures at our first index dot egg instantiation needs to get updated. So we need to say update with delta time in there. And then now maybe our viewport will be set. Egg update. Egg sprite. Are we drawing the egg sprite? We're drawing the atlas, which is this, not our egg sprite. Drawable expected got quad on egg 18. Bad argument to draw. Got a quad. What are we supposed to pass in? The vulture sprite. Oh, no. Atlas, then sprite. Okay. See, I guess we do need the atlas. I really don't know. And we're getting no egg. Maybe since we have egg exists and we're only making an egg here. Let me just try to kill player one and see. Nope. Fuck. So, does our play state, do we not need this? Does this not work? How come our eggs are gone now? So why does egg update? Update would set our viewport to our eggs X, which currently gets what? Because we're instantiating an egg here at the ostriches. Okay. I think we can't. I don't know. But we got an egg on screen at least. So now the next thing is to only spawn that egg upon a vulture dying, and to put it exactly where the vulture died as well, and then we need to worry about animating it. See, so that shouldn't have happened. When I killed him, the egg disappeared. I don't exactly know why. Set the viewport to this +1. But we're actually not. Wait, are we updating egg? No, we turned off updating egg. Very hard for me to imagine this. Okay, we've got an egg. Technically progress. Okay, so we need to figure out why egg update isn't quite working. Our quad. A second. If we turn off the egg update, we still get an egg. So the viewport isn't what is setting. The viewport's going to help us change which quad we're looking at, but the quad itself is hard locked to 8x8. Pretty sure. So we want in our playstate update, do we say here, if egg exists? Okay, so maybe wherever we're rendering egg, gosh, I'm like stepping on a sticker or something. A toothpick. In our egg render, we only want to egg render. Where are we egg rendering? Right here. We only want to egg render if an egg exists. So vultures 1 dot egg exists. If that's true, then egg render. That doesn't explain why it disappears when I kill it, but figure that out. So if egg exists, then render egg. So no egg, but when I kill player 1, oh, did you see it? It looked like there was an egg that spawned and then disappeared. So something in our vulture egg exists, we get an egg instantiation self.egg. And then if that egg exists, oh, it only turned on for 1 frame. So it's like we need to say if egg exists, give us an egg. So we don't want to tether our render to egg exists. We want to tether it to if we're exploded or not. So if vultures exploded, then render the egg. Now it'll still put it at the wrong spot, but at least it won't give it to us more than 1 frame. Nope, it disappeared again. I'm gonna print out vultures exploded, make sure we're not wiping that or anything. So in our play state, I'm gonna put here, I'm gonna put vulture.exploded, and then I'm gonna put it at 5.5. And this is gonna say exploded. Okay. I'm gonna make sure that's triggering right, first of all. Okay, exploded does say true. You saw the egg like exist there, so like does So I'm gonna put egg exists, and then C. Okay, I don't know why egg is not drawing right. It should render the egg, and the egg render is just, what if we just say hard-coded at why is it disappearing is the thing. Like, we're gonna draw it just at 0 pixels to the right and 30 pixels down. So it should be right below our debugging there. It should draw the egg for like 1 frame. So let's see, when I kill him, not for 1 frame. Perfect. So how about instead of drawing it there, oh, you know what? That's exactly why. We need this to be last. We need this to be last X. And this to be last Y. So that, because we move it to the graveyard, so it's actually rendering the egg over in the graveyard there, right after frame 1. So this last X and Y needs to be actually here. Last X, last Y, and then yeah. Okay. So now when we pass in our self.x, see, this is wrong. We need to pass in no, actually this might work. Let me just see. Fucker. Fucker! Because I feel like this is... See, it's like we need to give it... Fuck. I think we need to render this at its own X and Y. Yeah, we need to render this at its own X and Y, but our own X and Y gets to be the last X and Y that gets passed in. I don't think that'll change anything in our code, though. Exploded. Then if egg exists, give us an egg, and then swap egg exists to false. So this would be last X, last Y. So what if we just give this back? So if we hard code something in here, the egg doesn't disappear, right? Yeah, it doesn't disappear, it goes there. So something's going on when we put... See this... if egg exists, then false. Are we updating our... I feel like we need to update our egg. So how about we say that our eggs X gets its last X. It's already there. So what are we doing? I don't get why. So as far as our vulture's self.egg goes, our egg gets our vulture's X and Y position, but it doesn't. It needs, this is where we need to pass in last X and last Y, because those numbers need to not change. So like upon self.exploded, we need to give ourselves a last X and Y, you know? As a vulture, we give ourselves a last X, and the last Y, and then upon exploding, if exploded, fuck, this doesn't work either. Because we need to say, if exploded, we need to assign the last X. I think this will still give us the same problem. Oh, come on. Bro, if I can't kill this guy in 4 lives. Okay. That put it at the very top. If we take that out, so the 0, 0 we're initializing it at is just staying there, but we're not saying, oh, fucking, yeah, okay. We need to say our self.x gets moved into our last stop. Okay, so this flag, if we're exploded, oh, actually, when do we set egg exists to true? When do we do that? Here? Yeah, if the vulture's exploded, egg exists gets set to true. Now, if we're exploded, egg exists is true, then we move our current x position into a variable called last x, our y, our vulture's y into a variable called last y, and then we instantiate an egg into our vulture.egg field at the last x and last y position. Then we set self egg exists to false. So that will hopefully make our egg exist at the location in which our vulture 1 gets killed. which is what I want. Mother. Nope, didn't work. Piss. So the weird thing is, it'll draw it at 0, 0, no problem. It'll draw it at 0, 0, no problem, because our last X and our last Y are hard-coded to such numbers. But we don't want I don't get why this isn't working. Why this gets flushed. So like, if we say, if now we print our vultures last X and last Y, fuck. It's almost like, no, yeah, we need this. We need this here when egg exists. We need to take our vultures X. See, so yeah, this, my question, I guess it's like, does it still, yeah, it still draws it. That busts it, but taking those out draws it at 0, 0. Okay. I'm a little stumped. Egg exists is the wrong word for this. Because this is just the flag to instantiate an egg existing, but it'll be set false. Actually, hold on a sec. It should be set. Egg exists as false, and egg exists as true. But the thing is, we set our egg exists to false. Fuck, you know what? We set our egg exists to false, but then since we're still exploded, our egg exists gets true. Oh my god, this is the same freaking problem I was running into yesterday. But I don't remember how I fixed it. I don't remember how I translated this, or I don't know how to translate the solution, because it was different things going on. So this flag in my mind was supposed to only get triggered once and get set to false. So it's like don't exactly know what to do. We could add another boolean and say, see, I don't like egg exists for being the name of this flag, but do we have, yeah, we do. Because look, this is what's screwing us. If we're exploded, egg exists is true. But that's why it's messing up. I don't know. I don't know how to only do this once. All the ideas coming to my head are awful. Like saying like, hey, if vulture dot I don't know. I don't know what to do. But that's what's screwing us. This was the same problem we were running into yesterday, because values were being tied to certain other values. Because we don't want egg exists to be true upon exploded, but if it's the first time it's exploded, we want it to be egg exists. So maybe instead of egg exists, we call this egg spawn. Fucking, I don't know. Because egg spawn is only going to be true, one frame. The frame it spawns. Otherwise, set it equal to false. It should work the same, except our egg exists debugging is now nil because we did not fix it. Look for any other egg exists. Okay. That doesn't fix our problem, it just makes it a little more clearer what we're trying to do here. So how do we ensure we only have egg spawn turn true the frame we explode? I feel like we need another boolean called something, but I'm not really figuring it out. We need to say not egg spawn gets true if vulture exploded, but if vulture exploded and vulture dot egg same problem. So we need to do this differently. I mean, we can say it here. We can say if vulture, the frame it exploded, is true, then set our egg spawn equal to true, and then vulture dot frame exploded will get false. So we only do it once. But we need to set vulture frame exploded upon a exploded. It's the same fucking problem we keep running into. Because now if we go to exploded, right, and we see when we're actually toggling vulture to be exploded, when do we set exploded equal to true? It's upon a collision, upon a vulture collision here. So when do we say exploded gets true? It's under our ostrich collisions that we turn our vulture ostrich self.exploded. Okay, yeah, we want our ostrich.exploded getting true. It's like I don't know how to do it. It sucks because this is all tethered. Like, they're all tethered to one another because I'm only setting them on the same booleans, you know, like we need to fuck, I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to do it exactly. See, but I'm gonna leave myself a message, say, not true, make this only true the frame we explode. So when we set, okay. So yeah, when we set our exploded to be true, we also need to set, wait, hold on our vulture. When we set our vulture to be exploded, we need to say vulture dot exploded, what was it? I already deleted it. It's vulture dot what do we have titled here? Like, we're trying to say if the first frame exploded. Then spawn this egg. But then we need to say that our first frame exploded gets true. Vulture dot first frame exploded gets set to false upon the assignment of true to our egg spawn, at which point we still need our vulture to have a field called frame.exploded, first frame exploded, that gets set to false. But then we need to set our first frame exploded to be true upon these collisions. This is how we decouple the booleans, because we're not setting first frame exploded to true upon exploded being true. We're setting it under the same condition exploded gets true, but then we reset it to false the very next frame, because if this is true on the first frame, we do something, and the something we do is oh god, oh no, here, the thing we do is set this to false upon that being true, after we make egg spawn true. So this boolean will flip only upon the first frame being exploded, and we're flushing that to false. Okay. So we need to go under our ostrich and go, we set our first frame exploded anytime our vulture gets exploded. Which is those couple scenarios. Fuck, lots of scenarios. Okay. Now we're gonna be Okay. We're going to be watching this egg spawn debug in the top left, and hopefully it turns true for only one frame once we kill the vulture one here. Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay. Now, instead of doing our, we need to pass in our last X and last Y, which we do here. Okay. Okay, let's try that. Fucking. Okay. It's still fucked because we need to do this upon the frame. So we need to say the if self dot first frame exploded, then we need to do that. And maybe that'll fix it, and if not, let's see. Yep, did not work. It's still drawing it at 0, 0, no? It drew it differently. Like the first frame, see how the first frame it drew it over here by our platform, and then the next frame went over here. So we're exploded, but egg spawn is false. We've got egg spawn working how we want, but we're still not figuring out how to pass in the last X and Y. It's almost like we need to update our last X and Y for our vulture anytime we're not exploded, but when we're exploded, we don't update it or change it. So we need to say in our vulture update, if we're not exploded, we're going to assign our self.lastX to be equal to its current X, and its last Y to be equal to its current Y. Now, these won't get updated if we are exploded. So if we're drawing our egg at, see, we don't need this now, but now if we're drawing our egg at our last X, last Y, that position shouldn't change once we're exploded now. Yes. Booyah. Booyah. Okay, so now that we've got an egg instantiation spawning upon a death, and then we can, that's the first step. Like, we got to worry about animating it. We got to worry about giving it physics. It's got to keep its X-word velocity that it had upon dying, but then slowly die out. So like, let's say if its dx was 1, for example, moving to the right 1, it needs to go 1, decrement down, decrement down, decrement down, and then needs to bounce. So it'll be bounce, 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 depending on the dy, I guess. I don't know. Okay, I'm happy we got the egg being drawn at, and if we kill, if we kill the player 1 at a different location, it should be at the location we killed him, and I suck. I really suck. Mother. Bro, if I can't kill this guy in 4 lives, I'm gonna retire. Technically, I killed him. Okay. I'm kind of feeling... Well, what do we do? Should we try to give it DX now? We need to assign... It's almost like we need to assign our last DX to spawn in there too. So we're gonna say in our vulture, we also update our... Why are we doing that? Where is the line we just did here? We need to assign a variable called last dx to be equal to its current dx if not exploded. Give ourselves this last dx up here. And then we can spawn our egg at our, not our self dx, but our self.last dx. Because now we've got a self.last dx that gets assigned its last dx. Okay, so now let's see if the egg moves upon dying or not. Well, it shouldn't move actually because we're not updating. We are not updating our x position. So if we were updating it, we would say our self.x gets its current x plus its last dx. But that also means now we need to make sure we're updating our egg in our play state, which we do not do. Vulture.1 egg update. Here we go. So now that we're updating our egg and now we're assigning our dx, okay, 14 egg, a nil value. Last dx, okay, yeah, we need to assign, this is actually, fuck. We give it a thing called vulture last dx, but that parameter is just assigned to our current dx, so we just need to say dx. Then we need to decrement our dx so we slow down to a stop, but we'll see if this works first. Oh, yeah, buddy. So the vulture's dead, but the egg still has its momentum. But the thing is, we need to decrement if our dx does not equal 0. How do we do this? Because if we're moving left, we need to, if our egg's moving left, we need to add, we need to make our dx bigger until it's 0. And if it's moving to the right, we need to make it smaller until it's 0. So if dx is greater than 0, then we need to decrement until 0, right? Otherwise, we need to increment until 0. So we need to say if self dx is greater than 0, we're moving to the right. So we need to say self dx gets. Now let's look at our speed because it's such a small number. Our dx here, 0.5. So if we do like a 0.01 or something, or 0.02, or I don't know, self dx gets its current dx subtracted by, let's just do 0.05 for now. Now we'll do 0.02. So if we're moving right, we're gonna go down to 0. But if it's bigger than, okay. So else if self dx is smaller than 0, then we need to say our self dx needs to increase every frame until it's 0, and then right here. But we need to clamp this. Yeah, we need to clamp this because it could just shift endlessly. So then we need to say else if self dx is 0. No, we don't need that. We don't need that. We just need a clamp. Because if it is 0, this body of code won't execute. So we just need to clamp this. So we need to say that this number, since we'd be moving right, needs to be the higher of the two values. One of which is 0, the other which is its updated dx. And then this one needs to be the opposite. It needs to be the... No? Maybe I did this backwards, hold on. So if our dx is going to the right, we're going to decrement it, and then we need to return the... Fuck. Decrement. That's not right. Our self dx gets the smaller of two numbers? No. This is right. That's right. Because if we have, so like let's walk through it on our moving left. If we're moving left, if our dx is smaller than 0, that means we're moving left. It's a negative number. Then this function returns the smaller of two numbers, one of which is 0, the other which is an incrementing number. So this will start off negative, and then it'll become positive, and the second it becomes positive, this math.min will actually clamp it to 0, at which point it will not execute either of these lines of code because these are not equal to, less than or equal to, or greater than or equal to. So that should give us the effect of slowing our egg down to a stop. 13 on egg 26. What? And expected to close function 13. You've got an end for function 13. If... Bro, what's going on? You've got an end. Near end of file. What? What don't you like? You've got an end. You've got an end. Did I change something? I don't think I changed something and it just freaking worked. Okay, so we're gonna kill Vulture 1 and hopefully it turns into an egg and then it updates its X position until it slows down. It's not gonna be falling with gravity just yet, but we're looking for the X position. Yeah, so 0.2 was probably too slow, but too slow, actually, I mean, damn. It's like we need it to be even slower. That's actually pretty good. That's crazy that 0.005 was pretty good. But now we need to say, you know, we need to add. We need to add gravity. So we're going to say our self.y gets its current y plus gravity. And then we'll need to add collision detection because it needs to be able to bounce off ground platforms. So if we kill this, now we should have gravity. I think eggs need less gravity. Because they're a little more floaty, I feel like. I don't know if that's true. But mother. Okay. Why? Just let me kill you. Nice, nice. Okay, so they turn into an egg, which is freaking awesome. But we need collision detection. So we need a function. This could either be platform or ground, and we don't cycle through. God, because yeah, we need to, for not only for this egg, we need to check against every single platform, including the ground platform, which isn't in the list of our collidable platforms because of reasons. We need to also do that for every single egg, which could be up to 5 at a time or whatever, but we need to check for bottom collision, so let's see if... I'm just gonna draw out real quick bottom collision stuff. So we're checking the bottom of our egg to see if it hits the platform, whatever the platform is. So we're trying to see if the bottom edge of our egg, let's do X first. So we're gonna see if the left side of our egg is smaller than the rightmost side of our platform. I think just to stay consistent with our other ones, we have these called collidables. So I'm going to keep it collidable. So we're going to say if our left side of our egg is smaller than the right side of our collidable, or no, and if the left side of our egg is smaller than the rightmost side of this, and the right side of our egg and the right side of our egg is bigger than the left side of our collidable, and then we check our Y's, and the top of our egg is smaller than the bottom of our collidable, smaller than our collidable's Y plus its height, and the bottom of our egg, self.y plus its height, needs to be bigger than the top of our collidable. And if all those things are true, then we know we've got a collision. So return true, and then return false otherwise. So now we've got a ground collide function. So now we need to go, we need to cycle through. It's like because I've got to go through every egg, right? Maybe this is a good stopping point. Because I'm just like a little daunted at like cycling through every single platform, including the ground platform, to not only check for collision, but do something about it. Which if we just reverse our current dy, it might just do a perpetual bounce thing, but I don't exactly know. That's sick. Yeah. Let me see if killing other other vultures. Fucker. Let's see if we can get eggs to spawn at each of our vultures real quick. And then we'll call it a day. So right now we're only updating vulture 1 egg. And we're only rendering vulture 1 egg. But where are we assigning? Oi. Where do we assign our egg info? Here. Okay. So the vulture class is okay. So I think that means all we have to do is make this a loop for our, not only our egg update, but sure. Egg update. So it's like we need to run. It's like we need to run this on every vulture if exploded. Is that right? So we update our egg only if vultures exploded, and then we need to render our egg just like we render all of our vultures. We need to render all of our eggs. So I'm gonna say that I'm still in the habit of not deleting code, just because if it breaks I can undo it, but I really should just get a little more confident. So for every vulture we just render the egg. But we only render the egg if vultures exploded. Then we render the egg. Okay. Now let's see if we kill a random bird, random vulture, if our egg spawns. Because we should be able to spawn 3 eggs. 1 for each. Dude. Okay, I'm very bad at this game. Bro, just die, just die. Okay, you turned into an egg. You turned into an egg. Yes! You turned into an egg. Fuck yeah, boyos. Let's do it again. How about egg? How about egg? How about egg? So one thing I'm noticing is the very first frame we triggered the egg, it draws it at the location that we spawned at the vulture's spawn location. So if I kill one, it'll be the platform, or over here. And then if I kill, I don't remember where that guy spawned, but the very first frame it draws in the incorrect spot. So we need to update our egg position before we render. Is that right? No, we render. If it's exploded, we render. Not exactly sure. It's like our, yeah, because our last DX and our last X and last Y and our vulture should take care of that. Unless, fuck. You know, I feel like maybe this is messing it up, but. Did that fix it? I think that might have fixed it. I don't see the issue anymore. And you guys might have a harder time seeing it because the game's running at 60 frames a second, but I'm only recording in 30, so there might be a chance you're not even seeing it. Yep, that did fix it. So I guess we just need to instantiate this off screen, because when it gets the very first frame it's instantiated, it renders it renders at the index that we were given for our vulture init. Is that right? Yeah. So it's almost like, hold on, if we... Yeah, we need to give ourselves something here. I'm curious if we... Yeah, because when we had this a number, it said it couldn't work, right? Yeah, okay. This is like the same problem I had with the ground. Why we had to give ourselves a null ground platform here. Because it couldn't instantiate a ground object with fake values, I guess. But anyways, today was actually, I was like not feeling today, so I'm really glad I programmed. Was not feeling it. Wasn't feeling it. But now we've got freaking eggs, and not only have we got eggs for every vulture, and we've got DX, and we got gravity for those eggs. So, yes. Next episode, we'll be adding the bouncing off the floor so that the egg can land, and then when it lands, we start a timer for it to hatch. And then we'll progress the viewport for the animation cycle to make it break. And then maybe we'll do... I don't think it's... So in the original game, when you break an egg, when you don't collect the egg fast enough, the egg hatches, and it hatches into the color above whatever tier vulture was killed, and then depending on which tier vulture you're at, different AI logic, you know, they're a little faster or more unpredictable or whatever. But we only have one vulture. We need a bounder, a shadow lord, and whatever the heck the last one was called. One other thing we might want to do is shift the spawning of the egg to be the center of the vulture. Yeah, we need to shift the spawning of the egg to be the center, because right now the egg's so much smaller and it's just spawning the egg at the top left of where the vulture was. So we can fix that fairly easily. We can say it depends on, so on the last X and Y, when we, where is it? Fuck. It's getting really hard to start to wrap my head around this game. I mean, it's a lot of lines of code. We don't need this update anymore, because we're doing it for every ostrich up here, every vulture up here. But we do need to find where we, you know, is it here? So instead of being here, I need to like map this out. Let me see the dimensions of our ostrich, which is, so if our ostrich is 16 wide by 24, actually this depends on, depending on if are vultures grounded or not changes where we spawn the egg. Because if we're really trying to spawn the egg right in the middle, because if we're trying to spawn the egg in the very middle of a standing vulture, we need to add 12 to our Y position. We need to add 8 to our X position. But if we're in the air, we're different. Are we perfectly square in the air? Let's see, if we're not grounded. Fuck. Where do we set our height if we're not grounded? That was not what I wanted to do. Height gets 16. Yeah, we turn into a perfect square. So if we're not grounded, we need to add only 8 to our Y. Whereas if we're standing, for vulture standing when it turns into an egg, we need to add 12. So when we do this bit, we need to say if self dot grounded, else if we're grounded, we need to give ourselves the egg. If we're grounded, we need to give ourselves the egg at our last X plus an 8 and our Y plus an 8. Whereas if we're not grounded, we need to give our egg 12 on the Y. So now I'm hoping the egg will spawn not at the top same X and Y position, but in the very middle of our vulture. Come on, come on, come on. That didn't look right. That didn't look right. That's this one plus 12. Because we're 12. Fucking, I don't... The X looked fine, but the Y looked awful. That looks pretty good. Maybe a little bit lower. Like, I don't know why the math didn't work out there. We're 24 high, we would draw it. Oh, because we forgot to offset for the height of the egg. Hey, dear. 8. Okay, so if an egg's 8 by 8, then the middle of the egg is 4 pixels down. So we're trying to see, we need to draw the center of our egg 12 pixels down if we're grounded, but we need to offset that by 4 because that's half of our egg's height. So plus 12 minus a 4, and then same thing, plus 8 minus a 4. So instead of doing the minus, so this, if we're grounded, instead of being plus 8, we just get a plus 4 and a plus 4. But if we're standing, we get a plus 4 and a plus 12 minus 4, which is a plus 8. No, that's not right. No, yeah, that is right. It used to be 12 there, so that should now give us an egg right in the center once we kill a vulture. Still looks too low to me. Still looks too low to me. So for 24 high, we're trying to draw an egg at the center, meaning it would be 12 pixels in. We need to take that 12 pixels and shift it up by 4. No. If we do it, hold on, if we do it, we draw it at 12 in, we're there at the bottom, but we need, yeah. That should be right. Why does it look so not right? I'm gonna try to kill someone when they're grounded and see if that looks decent. Otherwise, we'll just do it by eyeball, you know? It doesn't have to be perfect. It's looking better, I think. It's like when they're grounded, it looked a little too high almost. Yeah, the aerial one should be spawn a little higher, I feel like. But then it doesn't do anything different. Oh, you know what? No, that should be right. Guess that's okay. Yeah, that looks fine. I feel like we need to do a little bit even slower on the egg DX, which is where. Let's just do 0.0025. Fucker. That's a little too slow. 0.05 was not slow enough. That's too slow. So maybe we do like do something like that. That's looking pretty good to me. It just slows down to a stop, you know? Fuck. That looks pretty good. I love this. This is so cool. I'm so proud of this. Okay. let us tidy up our code a little bit. We will need to do the viewport for the animation of the egg, but we're not there yet. And I think I'm not going to worry about egg collision and points just yet. Well, I guess what should we do then? I mean, we've got to, before we do the waves, we got to figure out how to give us points. So I guess we do have to start doing that soon. I've been like putting it off because I know how it's freaking complicated. But we'll be able to do it. We've been making real good progress here. So that's looking okay. You know, today we fleshed out our egg class. We got eggs working on all the vultures, which is super nice. I didn't think I would get that much done today. But one thing I wanted to do is tally up how many lines of code this thing is, libraries excluded. So we'll just do our play state here. Play state is 216. Our vulture is 346. Our we still have a player 2 class, which we shouldn't have. I guess we do need this, but it's only 23, whatever. Then our ostrich, 617. Wow. This is massive. This is by far the biggest thing I've ever coded. 63 for the bubble. Oh, come on. Come on. How do I... Oh no. How did I fuck that up? But basically it was 1200 plus 63. 1200, so that's 1300. And then 1330. About 1330, well, with our main 1330 plus 123. We're at being pretty conservative with our codes. We're at 1400 lines of code right now. Because I didn't count stuff like this, which I didn't write. It's just a library for the audio that I'm using. I didn't count this, which is the library for class inheritance I'm using, or this, or the push library for resizing the screen. But it's coming up on 1500 lines of code I wrote myself for this, which is just absolutely wild. So yeah, this is what 1500 lines of code gets you. I'm gonna take the stuff off real quick. Debugging. And you know, there's a couple lines of code that are just for debugging and whatnot, but it's about 1500 lines of code. Wow, 1500 lines of code. That's insane. That's awesome. That's so cool. That's really cool. I'm super happy with this. This is so cool. I feel like that's too much gravity when we're going fast. I want to just double check our dy here if we hit the top. That's because we're setting our dy to be absolute value of our current dy. So maybe we do that. Cut it in half so it doesn't make us bounce downwards so fast. Okay. Yeah. I like that. Cool. So if we look through our code, here's all the differences between the last commit. We fleshed out our egg class with update logic. We just did that, changed our gravity. We did some egg booleans to determine when to spawn the egg. I really like Git. I like that you can see the differences. So this is all our work today. Every green is what we added. Nice. So if we add everything to our staging area with a commit message saying added egg spawn for all vultures, which was 5 files changed, 76 insertions, 21 deletions. Good solid day here. We're gonna push it to our origin main. So next episode we just add bouncing eggs. Okay, sweet. All right, I'm gonna call it a day. Thanks for tuning in. Oh, we're almost at 2 hours. What do we do? We're almost at 2 hours. Let's just play a little bit. Let's hit 2 hours. Let's play. We're 60 seconds away. Give us a break. We can code for 2 hours. This is coding. We're testing for bugs. One thing I do want to still add though too is there's like one frame of white X where the egg needs to spawn to kind of be like the first explosion of the vulture, because if you look at this, right when we hit a vulture, wait, see that white explosion we still need, so we need to do the explosion for them as well. So that's another thing we can add maybe tomorrow. Okay. So yeah, that'd be a good thing to add, because that's what the original has, so... Yeah, they have it if we die, and they have it if they die. And then maybe we'll... You know, we gotta add the... we also gotta add the platform spawns. And the art for them. Which shouldn't be too hard. But we can do that here, like... Okay. So tomorrow, this is what we got on our plate. Probably won't get all that done, but we can get some of it done. But yeah, successful day today. Catch you later.